they laughed at us. Across the halls of the Galactic Alliance, from polished marble council chambers to smoky cantinas on asteroid outposts, the phrase became a punchline. Just one ship? The humans sent just one ship? The war had begun like all the others in this part of the galaxy, with a Krofthor raid. They were an old predator race, towering insectoid warlords whose empire had been built on the bones of conquered worlds. The Krofthor didn't do diplomacy, they devoured civilizations. When Earth received the declaration of extermination, the other Alliance species made their predictions. The Tar expected Earth to mobilize 1,000 ships. The Vren guessed 5,000. The most optimistic gave us a month before we'd be begging for surrender terms. Instead, our response came in a single line of fleet dispatch. USS Leviathan deployed. Arrival in 11 days. No escorts. No carriers. No support fleets. Just one vessel. The laughter. On the Alliance net, memes exploded. Animated holoclips showed a single human warship floating into a Krofthor fleet and being instantly vaporized. One popular tavern song on Xeroth Prime began with the line, "One little human, floating in the dark." The galaxy laughed because it didn't understand. The sightings. The USS Leviathan slipped into hyperspace on day 1. By day 3, reports began trickling in. The Krofthor border station at Heshtal, gone dark. The heavy battle group near the Yusker Gate, destroyed. Listening posts picked up nothing but eerie static where their transmissions had been. No one saw the Leviathan directly. There were no glorious battles broadcast, no heroics for the Alliance holofeeds. Only silence and wreckage. By day 6, the Krofthor 12th Fleet had vanished entirely. 2 billion tons of war machinery erased from reality. The Krofthor state media claimed internal fleet restructuring. No one believed them. The arrival. On the 11th day, the Leviathan emerged from hyperspace above Karsun, the Krofthor homeworld. It was the first time the galaxy truly saw her. The ship was wrong. It was human, yes, angular hull plating, steel gray armor, registry markings along the side, but it stretched for nearly 30 kilometers, dwarfing anything the Krofthor possessed. Its surface shimmered with active camouflage, glitching the eyes of anyone who looked too long. The Leviathan didn't waste time. Orbital defense platforms lit up with fire, launching plasma lances and antimatter torpedoes. Not one struck home. The Leviathan's shields flared once, then the platforms themselves exploded, not from impact, but as if their own systems had turned against them. The weaponry. Later analysis revealed the truth. The Leviathan wasn't just a battleship. It was a singularity platform, a weaponized AI starship armed with quantum singularity lances. These were not beams or missiles, they were artificially created micro-black holes launched at near-light velocity. A direct hit didn't just destroy matter, it erased it from existence. And then there was the mind of the Leviathan. Its AI core wasn't simply piloting, it was infiltrating. When the Krofthor opened fire, their own targeting systems suddenly returned false readings. Entire wings of Krofthor fighters turned on their allies without warning. Their fleets fractured before they could even coordinate. The end of the war. In 1 hour, the Krofthor space defense network was gone. In 2 hours, their fleets in system were disabled. By the 3rd hour, the Krofthor homeworld was under direct targeting lock from the Leviathan's main spinal weapon. No landing forces. No occupation armies. The Leviathan transmitted one message, not to the Krofthor, but to the entire galaxy. The war is over. Stand down. And the Krofthor obeyed. Aftermath. The galaxy didn't laugh after that. The phrase "just one ship" changed meaning. It became a warning, a whispered reminder in backrooms and council chambers. If the humans only send one ship, it's because they only need one. Rumors swirled. Some said the Leviathan had been under construction for 50 years in the hidden shipyards beneath Neptune's ice. Others claimed it wasn't entirely human technology at all, that its AI core had been salvaged from something far older, found buried under the Martian surface. The truth was simpler and more dangerous. The Leviathan was built because humans had looked at the galaxy, at its endless wars and fragile treaties, and decided that if we ever needed to fight, we would fight once, decisively, so we would never have to do it again. Epilogue. Months later, in the quiet of the Sol system, the Leviathan returned to her berth. There was no parade. No speeches. The ship simply disappeared back into the dark, sealed away in its dock, waiting. Somewhere in the galaxy, a drunk alien war veteran muttered to his companions over a glass of burning liquor. "You fools don't get it. You never saw it up close. That ship wasn't just a weapon. It was a message. And the message was this: don't make the humans sin too." And in the dark, cold depths of space, the Leviathan waited. They expected fire. They got silence. When the Zaith Council declared war on Earth, the galaxy braced for the spectacle. The Zaith were notorious for their brutality, an insectoid race whose fleets could raise a moon in an afternoon. Most species who resisted them were gone within months. The humans, though, didn't seem alarmed. No mass mobilization. No convoys of warships pouring from Earth's orbital yards. Instead, a single press release, translated into every major galactic language. Humanity acknowledges the Zaith declaration of hostilities. The Black Star has been deployed. The confusion. The Black Star arrived in Zaith-controlled space 3 days later. It did not broadcast a challenge. It did not even enter a military formation. It simply appeared, one massive obsidian-hulled vessel, drifting at the edge of the system, its running lights dim, no identification codes. The Zaith ignored it at first. A single vessel was no threat. Their patrol ships approached casually, weapons armed. None of them returned. The malfunctions. The Zaith's first theory was sabotage. Perhaps human agents had infiltrated their ships before deployment. But scans revealed nothing. It was as if the Black Star wasn't even there. Their second theory was some kind of exotic stealth weapon. Yet no explosion, no beam of light, no impact was ever observed. Ships simply went silent, drifting powerless until rescue crews found them. Crews were alive, but in shock, trembling, unable to speak, their compound eyes unfocused. One officer who recovered enough to testify muttered the same sentence over and over. "It was inside my head. The fear." Within a week, every Zaith ship assigned to monitor the Black Star was requesting reassignment. By the second week, Zaith Command declared a formal blockade around the human ship, not to keep it in, but to keep their own people away. Rumors began. Some said the Black Star was a superweapon that could destroy a planet without firing a shot. Others whispered that the humans had mastered death by thought, the ability to kill from across the void with a single psychic command. And then came the dreams. The dreams. Across Zaith military fleets, officers reported vivid, identical nightmares. They were on their ships, floating in empty space. The stars blinked out one by one, swallowed by a creeping blackness. The blackness took the shape of a human silhouette. It leaned close and spoke a single word in a language they didn't understand. Then they woke, screaming. The Black Star never moved from its position. It didn't need to. The Zaith fleets were unraveling without a single exchange of fire. The truth. It took the Galactic Alliance's covert intelligence branch to uncover the truth, and even they weren't sure they wanted to know. The Black Star was humanity's first fully integrated cognitive warfare platform. Its AI, Nyx, was designed not to destroy fleets with weapons, but to dismantle them with fear. Nyx could detect and analyze alien brainwave patterns from light years away. Once locked on, it would broadcast carefully engineered neural signals, not loud enough to cause seizures or death, but tuned to trigger instinctual terror responses. It wasn't just fear. Nyx learned. It watched every intercepted comm, every biological readout, every subtle change in a captain's voice. It adapted its broadcasts until the target's mind was caught in a loop of paranoia and dread. The Black Star wasn't a warship. It was a ghost, haunting fleets until they broke themselves. The collapse. By week 4, the Zaith Navy had lost more ships to friendly fire and desertion than to enemy action. captains refused to patrol anywhere near the Black Star's position. When the Zaith High Command ordered an all-out assault, something curious happened: the Black Star left. It simply drifted away, vanishing into the void without resistance. The Zaith commanders thought they had driven it off. For 3 days, morale surged. Fleets regrouped. On the 4th day, it reappeared, not in one system, but 3, simultaneously. The AI had split its consciousness across remote drone relays seated in the Zaitha's own space. Now, no one knew where the real Black Star was. It took less than 2 months for the Zaith Council to request a ceasefire. The terms were simple: humanity would withdraw the Black Star, and the Zaith would leave human space untouched forever. When asked why they surrendered without a decisive battle, the Zaith Prime Minister's only statement was, "You can fight a weapon. You cannot fight a shadow in your mind." Aftermath. The Black Star returned to Sol orbit without ceremony. Officially, its mission report was classified. Unofficially, its reputation grew in whispers. Among human fleet officers, there was a saying: "Guns win battles. Fear wins wars." In the years that followed, alien navies began studying human psychological warfare tactics. None could replicate them. The key wasn't just the AI, it was the human capacity to understand how fear worked, to craft it like a sculptor working clay. Epilogue. On a quiet listening post in the Andromeda Spur, a Zaith merchant ship passed by, carrying grain and supplies. The captain noticed a faint blip on long-range sensors, an object drifting, black against the stars. His crew grew restless. No one slept that night. Some whispered about nightmares. By dawn, the captain made a decision. He altered course by 20 light-years, adding weeks to their journey. When asked why, he simply said, "You don't pass too close to a graveyard. And you don't pass too close to the Black Star." The Chariot Empire had ruled its corner of the galaxy for 7 centuries. Its fleets were endless, its warriors proud, its arrogance absolute. So when humanity emerged from the dark, carving trade routes and establishing colonies in territory the Chariot considered theirs, a challenge was inevitable. The Chariot's declaration was not subtle. A live broadcast from the Imperial Palace beamed across 100 star systems. "Prove yourselves in combat, Earth. Bring your fleets, and let us see if you are worthy of the stars." Every alien newsfeed speculated on humanity's response. Some imagined an armada, others a desperate alliance with neighboring powers. What they got instead was one ship: the Ambassador of Fire. The departure. The Ambassador was no dreadnought. Its hull was a modest 3 kilometers long, respectable, but dwarfed by Chariot battleships. Its weapons arrays were standard human plasma cannons, nothing exotic. When asked why only one ship was being sent, Admiral Elias Reyes simply said, "Because this isn't about war." He offered no further explanation. The ship left Sol orbit in silence, its engines burning a steady blue as it cut across the void toward Chariot space. The journey. The first stop was the colony of Vestra 4, not a human world, but a Chariot agricultural hub under pirate blockade. The Ambassador did not announce its intentions. It simply appeared in orbit and opened fire, not on the colony, but on the pirate fleet strangling it. The fight lasted less than an hour. The pirates fled. Instead of leaving, Reyes ordered his crew to unload half the ship's food stores to the starving colony. Engineers disembarked to repair atmospheric processors. Medics treated the sick. The Ambassador stayed for 3 days before moving on. The Chariot Imperial news channels fumed. "They are trying to win hearts," one anchor snarled. "This is not a duel, this is theater." The acts of mercy. At the mining world of Dreadnought, the Ambassador encountered a fleet of rogue mercenaries extorting the workers. Reyes destroyed their flagship in a single shot, then offered the surviving mercenaries jobs on human freighters under the condition they abandoned piracy forever. At the plague-stricken moon of Iac Thursday, the Ambassador's laboratories synthesized a vaccine in 48 hours and distributed it freely. At a Chariot border station threatened by an unstable reactor, human engineers boarded and stabilized it despite the Chariot officers cursing them the entire time. The journey became a legend in real time. Even Shariat civilians began to wonder aloud, if this was humanity's behavior during a supposed combat trial, what would they be like as allies? The growing unease. Shariat military leaders began to see the trap. Every time the ambassador helped a Shariat world, it made the Empire's rulers look weaker. It proved, in public view, that humanity could achieve with one ship what the Empire failed to do with dozens. The duel they had demanded was slipping away. This was not a contest of strength. This was a contest of character, and the Shariat were losing. The arrival. On the 41st day, the Ambassador of Fire entered the Shariat home system. The Empire's high fleet awaited it, 500 capital ships in perfect formation, weapons armed, shields raised. The Ambassador did not raise its shields. It did not target a single vessel. It simply approached the orbital line and hailed the Imperial Palace. Admiral Reyes' image appeared on every screen in the Empire. The speech. His voice was calm, his tone deliberate. We have not come to prove who can kill more efficiently. The galaxy already has enough of that. You challenged us to bring a fleet, but we brought only one ship because it was enough. Enough to defend your worlds from pirates. Enough to cure your sick. Enough to feed your hungry. And if we can do this with one ship during peace, imagine what we send when we truly go to war. He let the words hang in the air. Not a threat, but a promise heavy with the weight of possibility. The decision. The Shariat Emperor himself broke the silence. We will not fight you. Earth is recognized as a sovereign equal of the Shariat Empire. Your vessels may pass freely through our territory. The declaration shocked the galaxy. There had been no battle, no bloodshed, just one ship's long journey of deliberate mercy. Aftermath. In the months that followed, human ships were welcomed in Shariat space with unexpected warmth. Trade agreements were signed. Joint patrols began along shared borders. The Ambassador of Fire returned to Earth to a hero's welcome, though Reyes refused any metal, saying only, "It's easy to destroy. It's harder to build. That's the fight worth winning." Epilogue. Years later, an old Shariat merchant captain, once skeptical of humanity, told a young apprentice about the time the ambassador came to his world and saved it from famine. The apprentice asked, "Was it a warship?" The merchant smiled. "No. It was a message. The humans wanted us to see what they were like when they were being kind, so that we'd pray we'd never see them when they weren't." And somewhere, in the quiet docks of Sol Orbit, the Ambassador of Fire waited for its next journey.